I'm Rob, this is Rory, we are from bjjconcepts.net, and we're going to show you the triangle choke from guard. So specific, we'll go through the movement for you here. And that's the best setup in my experience for the triangle choke from the guard in the gi. The most commonly taught one, which is this kind of like get a grip and throw a triangle up, I don't think is a good idea, especially not for beginners, because you're not going to have the awareness of how to break your opponent's alignment. The alignment concept, as this guy has stated, is the most important concept in jiu-jitsu. I wonder where he heard that. The idea is that if I attack my opponent without first addressing their base, their posture, their structure, then I'm likely to fail unless they just don't know what the move looks like. So this will work on some people who are just not savvy to what the hell's going on. But as you go up against better and better people, they're going to be using this arm to frame you fairly well, and they're just going to shuck your leg by. Like, if you're a white belt or even a blue belt, put your hand up right now if you've had that happen to you. So, and if your hand's not up right now and you're a white belt, you're fucking lying. What we want to make sure that we do is use the proxy control of our partner's collar to affect their posture, and we want to use our knee and our shin to affect their structure. All right, let's just rotate this way a little bit. I'm going to use a sleeve grip and a collar grip here, and I'm going to move my knee in and then over top. If I just move my knee out, then my partner can frame against it and access a guard pass. So what I'm going to look to do is scoot my hip out, get my knee in, and then I can bring my leg out. Now my partner doesn't have the ability to frame because of the angle of my hips. If I'm just trying to move my legs at this angle where both my hips are flat on the mat, this becomes an accessible lever. If I scoot my hip out this way, now I can frame against the floor and move my leg out using my collar arm as a frame and using my left foot here as a frame if necessary, while drawing my partner to me, basically bending him in half at the waist, using his spine as a lever. My shin is going to come down right at the biceps, so I don't want to go in the middle of the arm at the top or in the middle of the arm at the bottom because this is going to be too strong a frame. I want to hinge his arm, and I want to be driving my shin in to pin it while pushing against his hip with my foot, creating a counter force, bending him in half. I'm now going to lift my hips up and match his arteries in the side of his neck with my hamstring. I don't want to try to close the triangle yet. Let's rotate a little bit here. If I try to close the triangle right away here, there's going to be a little bit of space that's not going to be efficiently used. He'll be able to defend the choke. So I want to drive up.
So that's already starting to choke.
The pressure should be pretty immediate. Then I'm going to be clamping down with my calf against the back of his neck. A common error here is to close the triangle with our partner's shoulder involved, giving him access to easy defense. My foot will stay on the hip while I change this angle. Now my right arm will release the collar and it'll underhook his arm or his leg, whatever is available. Usually the arm is a little bit more accessible. Let's just rotate a little bit more here. My thigh is now going to be scraping my partner's shoulder, bringing it into the arteries and veins on the other side of his neck. If I don't make this mechanism happen, I can close the triangle here, but because even if I got it fairly tightly closed, I'm squeezing really hard right now. Nothing's happening because this shoulder is low. It hasn't been rotated into the side of his neck. The triangle choke is taking effect because of my hamstring being on this side of the neck, compressing the arteries and veins. My calf is forcing his neck down and his head down, creating a backstop. And this shoulder has to be rotating into this side of the neck, cutting off the blood flow on that side of the head. So to affect that, as my calf is down, I scrape my thigh along the triceps, and now I don't even have to close the triangle. I mean, obviously I would, but it's a good drill to do when you're learning this scraping motion, taking your knee to the outside, having your legs be parallel, and effectively creating this like scissor effect. So again, I have the sleeve and the collar, I get my knee in, and then I take it out, smashing down. I'm pulling to me, making sure that, and sometimes you're gonna be gripping behind the elbow depending on like how diligent your partner is gonna be about this knee-elbow connection, which is a good thing. I may have to grip behind the elbow and pull this way. Now my hips come up, hamstring meets the neck, calf comes down. Scoot, you notice my foot is still on his thigh. I'm creating a strong wedging force with my thigh here to prevent his elbow from coming out. People lose this all the time at this stage. Make sure you don't make that mistake. Force coming in, hips rotate out, and a little squeeze down should get you the finish. Make sure that you're trying to get onto your hip as well. When I say onto your hip, I mean onto one side. So in this case, my right hip. If I'm even, there's too much of a possibility, if I'm on both hips, that he gets this elbow back to the mat and potentially accesses this lever and escapes the choke. So I want to be trying to stay off of the ground with my left hip, on the ground with my right hip. I'm basically kneeing him in the skull as I go, but only if I have scraped his shoulder, and this motion with my thigh combined with the motion with my hip is what creates that effect.
The more you hip out, it opens my elbow up too, which just drives my own shoulder into my neck.
Exactly. We're essentially using our hips to access our partner's upper arm, the humerus here, as a lever. So the more my hip goes out this way, as my thigh comes up, the more effective we're going to be at internally rotating our partner's shoulder, which is sort of the essential mechanism in the triangle. Hopefully that helps you guys out.